And I couldn't, in all honesty and all consciousness and with my conscience, be in his government knowing I am plotting against his removal in 2027, because I will. By God, we will remove him. By God, we will remove President Bola Tinubu in 2027. And collectively, Nigerians will install a leader that will be our chosen, not his chosen, not Emi local. It will be our local. 2027 is Bobowa local. Every Nigeria lo mark on in 2027.
Northerners have not started with Tinubu. They are the one that will decide his future. 1 billion of Yoruba cannot decide Tinubu's future. That maybe Tinubu will win. The Northerners will decide, and their decision is for him not to win. So what is he going to do? All this noise you are making in Yoruba, come out with city boys. Come out with any boys you want to come out with. City boys will not make you to win. 56 boys will not make you to win. North will decide the future of Tinubu second term after God.
Okay, consider the fact that it looks like definitely there's going to be northern rejection of Bola Tinubu come 2027, and consider the fact that they were a major ally of Bola Tinubu 2023 that saw him, ascend to Aso Rock as the president. What actually have gone wrong in that regard? I will tell you that the political landscape of Nigeria is gradually changing. This after, of course, the Mandela Momodu came out to emphasize that the moment the APC, the Tinubu, and the power that we saw the tsunami Obi Kwankwaso pull in the north, of course, they return back to the drawing board. And apart from this, we have seen so much that is happening of late. We have seen Emalami, who recently regained freedom, who is making wave in Kebbi State. He have even come out clearly to emphasize that they are going to rescue Nigeria from Tinubu come 2027. And apart from this, we have seen a well-respected religious leader talking about Primate Ayodele, who recently came out to say that if it is not taken that in 2 months' time in the north, nobody will be willing and ready to hear the name Tinubu or APC. But let us listen to him as we come back to further this conversation. You are welcome back. For me, I think what we are seeing is not unconnected with the recent development involving federal government of Nigeria, where they try to cut tariff on some imported essential commodities, some imported important products like rice, like pharmaceutical, like even car. Because little the Nigerians know that before now that the high tariff was part of the reason the economy was was struggling. But for what we are seeing, it means that no, the Fulanis are finally forced Tinubu to drop tariff in some essential areas. The way it is unlikely that the North is going to back down. Because even Madam Nancy Erufai, we saw when he buried his mother, we saw the Mamo crowd, how he became a rallying point for the North and the Fulanis. We saw how they hurriedly resisted to go and bury the mother. And for what we are seeing, this Erufai have made it clear that come 2027, that Tinubu have no path to victory. And this is a man who have not changed his position and his intention. And from what we are seeing, very soon, whether they like it or not, Erufai may be released, going by maybe granting him bail or as to have it. But to tell you that even the North, from the way the whole thing is going, that the man, Tinubu, is not going to have it so easy. That is why we are seeing serious opposition from the government, from INEC against ADC. Because even as we speak, ADC have made it clear that what is happening with INEC, that it is government that is engineering it. Even as we speak, the man Atiku, a Fulani man, have gone far away to America to hire a lobbying firm for $1.2 million US to challenge the government of the day, Nigerian government, over all their activities against ADC. And recently, we are made to understand that the same lobbying firm Atiku hired have moved to influence Donald Trump to sanction government personnel in Nigeria over the reconstitution of David Mark-led, of course, ESCO. Because we understand that currently there will be a court hearing, of course, Supreme Court hearing of the case involving David Mark, Rafa Nebeshola, as the national chairman and national secretary of ADC, and as I have to do with Nafi Gobe, who is contending with their leadership. But the way it is, I want to believe that it is not going to be as easy as people were thinking. Hence, the North have already come to realize that Obi Kwankwaso is a ticket that is going to make wave. Because you see the way people were chanting Obi Kwankwaso that day. That is why President Momodu said that the ruling party, the government made a mistake, that they destroyed all political parties, and they were not looking that ADC could make this wave. That immediately they saw the defection of Kwankwaso, and it's likely that it's going to run on the same ticket with Obi. What we started seeing is purely, of course, panic, disarray in the government angle. And as we have it, their panic have no bound. Because for them to rush, to go and say, okay, let us rush to review tariff, important products to ensure that they bring down the cost of living in Nigeria, it's going to show that this is the first time we are seeing this government rushing and running to bring do some things that tends to reduce sufferings among Nigerians. What are the factors, or looking at what the angle you have just said now, looking at the north and looking at the eastern part of the country? There's three major ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. As it stands now, which area do you think Tinubu should look at? Which area, which region should they actually be friendly now at the moment, considering the fact that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's position is also a threat to his vote in Southeast. Then from the north to insecurity, trying to dismantle Buhari's men from the north. At this point now, what do you think Bola Ahmed Tinubu should do to regain power?
For me, I think it's going to be a very difficult task, because even if some political pundits have argued that Nnamdi Kanu holds the magic wand to make him get vote from the eastern part of the country, that if he should go ahead to allow the man go, that of course is going to have a good show in the eastern part of the country come 2027. There's some other school of thought that said that Nnamdi Kanu being somebody that is resolute, that have a very sound mind, who is in high spirit, even in the face of incarceration, that even if you release him, that he's going to read the handwriting on the wall and make an informed decision, that releasing him does not automatically mean he will draw support for the Tinubu. And I think the government may have seen Nnamdi Kanu as someone who is very decisive and who, of course, cannot be swayed. Because even in the face of incarceration, in the face of what they consider suffering on his part, he seems not to be broken. We have seen so many Nigerians who have visited him, who have come out to tell the world that Nnamdi Kanu is a high spirit. We have seen this barrister Maswell, who even told us that, as at the last time he visited there, that of course that place has become a pilgrimage home, where people take turn to wait to visit, because according to him, that on one instance, about 15 people who came from different parts of the world were waiting for their turn to be given permission to visit and have discussion with Nnamdi Kanu. So, looking at somebody of his caliber, who of course is the most respected, recognized freedom fighter world over, I don't think releasing him is going to give the Tinubu a good show in the southeastern part of the country. I think that may best explain the reason they are not looking at releasing him, because otherwise, looking at what Tinubu stands to gain, if that would give him the vote, I believe that he would have done that. And unfortunately for him, he has gone ahead to launch the City Boy movement, which is predominantly being discussed in the southeastern part of the country. And from what we are seeing, Obi has come out to say that even the City Boy movement in the southeast is not going to give him what he wants. Because if you look at that, you begin to wonder, why is this City Boy movement more discussed, more preeminence in the southeastern part of the country than any other region? So I think it's very clear that what they are doing is to galvanize votes, though in a political environment, climate of Nigeria currently, what is expected is alignment, realignment, canvassing of vote is not unexpected.
Because you think that City Boys the agenda of the City Boys movement has already crashed in the eastern part of the country?
No, from what we are seeing, the City Boy movement, the people who are driving it have not been able to deliver, even as we speak. We saw the last outing where the materials that were meant for palliative were looted. And as we speak, they have not been able to recover from that. So I don't know whether there will be another showing of another outing in the southeastern part of the country. The one we saw recently, if that is the only outing they are going to engage with, it means they have a very serious issue.
Let us believe that state time maybe they will regroup and put their ass in order. I'm talking about City Board. But looking at the north, like I just asked you before now, what should be going on in the mind of Bola Ahmed Tinubu at this moment, considering the fact that it looks like there's going to be serious battle over there?
I must say that the North, from their own body language, not just body language, I've seen some videos online where some Northerners have come out to say that the current government is not interested in the well-being of the North, talking about the insecurity that ravaging every part of the country. Though we understand that the Fulanis are the ones that orchestrated this crisis, talking about the insecurity, we cannot forget in the hurry how the man, Kao Baraje, made an assertion that they brought in the Fulani militias in 2015 to remove Jonathan from office. However, everybody is now suffering the aftermath effect of importing Fulani militias into Nigeria. But whether we like it or not, they believe, though that is the fact anyway, that we have somebody in the saddle. Talking about Senator Tinubu, who is the current president. And it's expected that if he's the president, he's the commander of the armed forces, that it behoves on him to address the issue of security. No doubt. But the question now is, the Fulanis, the North, are saying they are not satisfied with the level of at which his government is addressing the insecurity.
But the Southwest are not seeing the North as a political threat to Bola Tinubu's second term ambition.
I think that was before now, because from what we are seeing, I have a video of a man, a high respected Northerner, who have come out to say that they have not seen any seriousness on the part of federal government in addressing insecurity that's confronting the North. So I think it's becoming clear that however I look at it, the Fulanis have a major blame when it comes to insecurity that are ravaging everybody. Though even if they have a major blame, they want to believe that hence there's a president, talking about Senator Tinubu, who is the commander of the armed forces, that it because of his office to address the issue of insecurity. At times, that's why I need to advise even the president that in some instance, when it comes to this level, let him use his good office to even see whether he can restructure the country. Because whether we like it or not, Jonathan tried to restructure through comfort, it didn't work. Now we have somebody in the saddle, a Satana. And the way it is, the Fulanis are not ready to give him a second chance. So let him use this opportunity he has to see whether he can restructure the country so that everybody will know if there's even need, let people go their several ways. After all, God never created Nigeria as one.
Okay, some people from political, let me say figures, influencers or some prominent people are saying that even if they bring Obi, they give Obi ticket and he has the Sultan of Sokoto as vice president, that he's not going, the Northerners are not going to vote for Obi because he is Igbo.
I think that was the past.
Yeah, not the situation recently.
No, we saw the Obi in Kano, how Obi was so rent the air. We saw the tsunami. It was after that outing we saw OPC, the presidency being rattled. Rattled to the point that they started looking for strategy, the means to disorganize and dismantle ADC. And that brought us to where we are, a situation where the leadership of the David Mark led National Working Committee of ADC is now questioned to the extent that they have a case in Supreme Court at the level of High Court. So there's no doubt about that the narrative, the dynamics have changed. And the North are now currently rooting for the man, P2B, as a better alternative to what we have currently. Because whether we like it or not, if the ruling party have their way, ADC will not be on the ballot.
Yeah, with the institutions like INEC and judiciary, already believed to have been on the side of the presidency. What do you think should be the position of Bola Tinubu, the confidence is going to have at the end of the day? I have the judiciary and I have the INEC. Won't that actually trigger a revolution like the ADC already threatening a parallel government if there is rigging 2027?
For me, I think it's very clear. Whether we like it or not, the consciousness is gaining ground. And as it's gaining ground, it's becoming more difficult for people to manipulate the process. We saw how people, not just politicians, Nigerians, gathered in Abuja to prevail on National Assembly to do the needful, talking about the amending the relevant sections of the Electoral Act. And as we have it, Section 60, Section 3 is now emphatically clear that you must transmit the election result electronically. However, there's a proviso. I understand that has to do with areas where there's network failure. But I want to believe that is better than what we had in 2023 presidential election, talking about the Electoral Act of 2022. Because that one gave a whole liberty, unrestricted liberty, to INEC to determine the mode of transmission of election results. This is where I'm not calling on Nigerians, particularly the electorate who are eligible to vote, who may have registered for voting, to turn on en masse, to show voter apathy. Because once you come out en masse, it becomes difficult to manipulate the process.
Okay, finally, what are you going to tell the obedient movement, considering the fact that Abike Dabiri, threatened that the obedient movement are the ones that are going to cause Obi's failure of 2027?
Well, what I would say in that regard is that because they are seeing that the obedient movement and Obi pretend a very serious threat that their master may not return to office, that's why they are saying what they are saying. And do not forget what came from Professor Kayamo even yesterday, where he made it clear that you cannot beat a master his game. I want to say that even what is coming from Ebike Dabiri, what is coming from Professor Kayamo, if they are not panicking, there's no way, there's no reason they should start saying all of that. Because they are panicking. They are now on the defensive side. They are now the one trying to explain. And as they say commonly, that they go explain tire. And that is what we are seeing. They are now fighting, they are now on the defensive side. And in any, of course, in any battle, it is the man who is attacking that is advantageous.
Finally, just to cut you off, just finally in 1 second, we saw the bombing in Borno. That is the state of the Vice President Shetima. You know, how would you look at that in just 1 minute? Just summarize that.
I'm going to tell you that I'm not comfortable with what we are seeing, even though the military is coming out to tell us that they did due diligence, that they had intelligence. Because for me, with a report coming from the locals, from, of course, people who are in that locality, it shows that certainly civilians, innocent citizens, will have been bombed. So I'm of the view that in spite of the level of intelligence they had, that they would have done more diligence to ensure that they tied all the loose ends before they went for that bombing.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.